Hello my fellow investors and welcome back to another earnings report video. Today guys, let's take a look into the company Hut 8. They just had earnings I believe this morning, and I want to take a look at this company. We have never taken a look at them before. They do mine Bitcoin, so this is going to be quite a rough kind of analysis because, well, unfortunately usually these types of companies don't do too hot, so just keep that in mind. Nonetheless though, let's see what the earnings actually tell us. Of course, their fundamentals as well as the discounted free cash flow. So with that said, let's get started with this video. Alright everybody, so here we got the earnings summary, and well, we can see that, well, everything here is in the negatives, and for the two EPSs, they came in at -5 for the non-GAAP and -6 cents for the GAAP, and they were both in line. Now when it comes to the revenue, we got $14.25 million, so not a lot. Again, this is a pretty small company, but this was a miss by $1.43 million. Now before we move on, I gotta point something out guys. Well, this is a Canadian company, so yeah, to all of those who wanted more Canadian companies, here you go. This is another Canadian company right here. So let's jump now into the earnings report, and like always guys, this will be linked in the description below. I'm going to keep these video shorts from now on, and yeah, I'm only going to go over what the CEO said, the highlights, and any guidances, so just keep that in mind. So we got over here quarterly revenue of 19.1 million, including 4.2 million from the high performance computing businesses. So I'm assuming the reason why this is different than what we just saw is because, well, one is in Canadian dollars. I mean, we see right here, all dollar figures are in Canadian dollars, so just keep that in mind. So if we come down over here, actually, I guess we should mention this. We got 9,136 self-mined Bitcoin held in custody or pledged as collateral on June 30th. So that's, you know, kind of important to know right there, seeing that they do mine Bitcoin. Now, seeing what the CEO had to say, we got, quote, "We continue to build a momentum toward closing our transaction with USBTC by progressing toward receiving regulatory approvals to proceed and improving our projected post-merger self-mining capacity of 7.5. I'm guessing that's ETH? Yeah, I'm not really sure what that is," said Jamie Laverton, CEO of Hut 8. That said, we are not there to simply chase exahash. We have been unique in our approach to growing our business primarily through inorganic means, which is not good, and have done so with our infrastructure first mindset. We believe that there is value to be captured beyond proprietary mining, which is why we acquired the HPC business. We are confident that this merger positively positions us on a path to growth by expanding into more stable energy markets and increasing our exposure to CapEx light, scalable, fiat-based revenue streams. Oh, wow. Like hosting and managing infrastructure operations, which includes proposed built site. Oh, wow, guys. So you can see right there that, you know, yes, their main thing is to mine Bitcoin, but they are still going with, like, they are trying to get back into like the fiat-based revenues, because at the end of the day, this is a company and they operate based on fiat. I mean, I know that a lot of people don't want to hear that, but that's the truth, right? That's just the truth. So let's take a look at now the highlights for 2023. Revenue decreased by 24.6 million to 19.2 during the quarter compared to the 43.8 million during the quarter. Wow, that's a massive drop. The company mined 399 Bitcoin in the quarter ended June 30th, 2023, an approximate 58% decrease compared to the quarter ended June 30th, 2022, primarily due to increase in average Bitcoin network difficulties, resulting in a decrease of Bitcoin mined, the impact of suspension in operations at the company's North Bay facility, and ongoing electrical issues in the company Drumheller facility. Now that's interesting because, well, if they're having problems now, I don't think that there has been the halving yet when it comes to Bitcoin. So if they're having troubles now, this is going to come down a significant amount, which is again probably why they're saying we need to go into other types of fiat currencies, because mining Bitcoin just isn't cutting it right now. The company's high performance computing HPC operations generated 4.2 million, a primarily monthly recurring revenues in Q2 of 2023 compared to the 4.7. So that's another decrease. You can see right there, 4.2 to 4.7 in 2022. As previous reported, the company encountered issues with Drumheller site, primarily stemming from high energy input levels that have been causing miners to fail. All right, so that's good to know. That's actually a really big problem. Like, that's the one thing you don't want to have. Like, if you bro, like the one thing that is like your service that is causing issues for you, yeah, you really need to fix that. The company's install hash rate was 2.6 as of June 30th, 2023, compared to 2.6 compared to, so there was no change right there when it comes to the quarter over quarter change. So with this said, let's jump now into the spreadsheet. We got the ticker for HUT, market cap of $824.7 million. A PE of NA, again, their earnings are in the negative, so that makes sense. With a current share price of $2.78. Now, if we take a look at this graph, we can see that on the 1 year, they're down almost 22%. Year to date, they're up a whopping 240%. Guys, all of this is looking amazing. If you would have bought this thing, you would have been, up a whopping 240%. I mean, you're looking at this, you're like 52-week low of 78 cents to a 52-week high of $4.55. However, I am so sorry to tell you, but this is not peak. In fact, if we take a look at this during COVID, you could just tell that, well, this was a hype company. Whenever you see this kind of rise as around November, late 2021, yeah, guys, this was a hype company. So this thing reached a peak of 1590 and people were saying to the moon, and no, it did not. So you can see that little spike that we just had as of what? This year, look at this. It's barely even makes a tick in what this company actually did. In fact, as of today, it fell 6.4% during the market open, and post-market it gained 2.52. So yeah, y'all know I don't like my penny stocks, so right off the bat, this is not looking good to begin with. It's a hype company back in 2021, so yeah, it's not really a company I like to invest in, right? It's very, very speculative. And if we take a look down further, we can see that, well, obviously they don't pay out a dividend, but their free cash flows just aren't good at all. So let's take a look at now their fundamentals. We got the net income 5 years ago of negative $100 million, 1 year ago of negative $179.3 million. And by the looks of it, guys, this is going further, right? This is going even further into the red. This is a decrease of 79%. You can see that the only positive years were 4 and 3 years ago. Again, when COVID was a thing and when the whole Bitcoin thing was also becoming a hype. So yeah, I'm going to have to give this, guys, not to give this thing, I would say like a 10%. Looking now into the free cash flow, very, very similar to that of the net income. We got 5 years ago of negative $66.8 million to 1 year ago of $131.3 million, decrease of 97%, with an average of negative $65.92 million. Now, this is actually worse than that of the net income because, well, 3 years ago they did negative free cash flow still. So I'm gonna have to give this, let's see, I gave this thing a 10%. I'm gonna have to give this thing, I would say, like a 5%. When it comes into the revenue, okay, at least this one is increasing, but I mean, we just saw that the revenue dropped massively, right? We got 5 years ago of $36.2 million to 1 year ago of $111.3 million, increase of 207.46%. I would say, based off of this graph, I'm gonna say at around I'm gonna say at around maybe like a, I'm gonna say it, guys, I'm gonna say around 80%. All right. Looking now into the total assets minus total liabilities, this is continuously increasing. You can see the one outlier here 2 years ago fell back down, but it's still continuously increasing. And they even said that the way that they grow is through inorganic acquisitions, right? So I don't necessarily like that, but still, that's just, it is what it is. Average total assets, it is $288.9 million. Average liabilities, it is $53 million. Doing this difference, we get $235.78 million. I would say at around like a 75% or so. Looking now into the cash flow minus the liabilities. This thing is, I mean, okay, you can see that from 5 to 4 years ago, they did increase it, but overall, this is just going down. I mean, 2 to 1 year ago, they also increased it, but it's still way lower than the average of negative $116 million. So I'm going to say at around maybe like a 20% or so. Looking now into the shares outstanding, they have continuously issued shares, and the increases started as of 2 years ago, going from 97.2 million to 169.6 million. 5 years ago, being 85.2 to today of 221.3, as a jump of 159.74%, and from the previous year to the current year is an increase of 0.36%. So I'm gonna have to give this, guys, I would say like a massive 0. And lastly, when it comes into the cash and equivalents, they currently hold $11.8 million with an average of $25.37 million. Overall grade, I mean, net income 10, free cash flow 5, revenue 80, assets minus liabilities 75, cash flow minus liabilities 20, shares outstanding of 0, overall grade of 29. As I said, guys, this company was very, very hyped, and yeah, it just isn't there, man. It really, really isn't. And if we take a look at the discounted free cash flow, not putting anything, we got $1.87 not adjusting for debt, and $1.81 adjusting for debt. So if we input any of these numbers in the negative, this thing's going to go lower. Now, they have been issuing shares, and by the looks of it, they're going to continue to issue shares. Now, I would love to do like 100, right? But actually, I think that's pretty fair, honestly. So let's say negative 100. Let's say I'm gonna be nice, guys. Negative 95, and let's say negative 90. Now, when it comes into the revenue, all right, if we come over here to Seeking Alpha, we can see a negative 20.54%. Now, okay, let's ooh, this is gonna be a difficult one. So let's say around negative 15, let's say negative 12, and then let's say negative 9. Now, with these assumptions, we get 44 cents to 61 cents, not adjusting for debt, sorry, and adjusting for debt 42 cents to 58 cents, margin of safety of 5, 10, 15, 36 cents to 55. So the current share price of 278, yeah, guys, this is looking expensive. And to those of you who might be like, no, you don't understand this company, which, by the way, I can't wait to hear these comments. Guys, I used to actually delve in Bitcoin before. I used to do Ethereum staking. I was all in that, right? I was all in that. And at the end of the day, the reason why I'm giving it these kinds of valuations is because, well, guys, I'm sorry to tell you, but Bitcoin, I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in it. I'm saying it's not the main thing that you should invest. At least this is just my personal opinion, right? I believe in investing in things that are things that actually are tried and true. Real estate, stocks, right? Things that actually provide something. That's why when it comes to gold, like owning the physical gold, I'm like, yeah, it's great to have, but it shouldn't be your main investment. Same principles apply to that of Bitcoin. So with this company, to those of you who might say, well, you don't understand it because they're doing this, they're doing that. Well, at the end of the day, guys, they're a company with a balance sheet, with an income statement, and a cash flow statement. So I'm looking at that. I'm evaluating it the exact same way, even though some people might say, no, you can't evaluate it the same way. You have to evaluate it the same way. You have to, because if you don't, you don't have a metric, you don't have a basis for it. So you can't be like, well, no, you should evaluate it based on Bitcoin price. It's like, Bitcoin prices will fluctuate on a per second basis. Like, there's no way that I could do that. It's impossible. So I have to have some basis, and this is my basis. So if you guys disagree, at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. You guys, this is not financial advice. Every investment is a present value of future cash flow. All of these calculators are available for free. Please use them, and make your own assumptions. All we're asking for in return, guys, is just like, subscribe, comment. Really does help with the algorithm on YouTube. Thank you so much for everybody support so far. All right, guys, so taking a look at now the options chains, there really isn't anything to see here. So it is what it is. Here are the options chains for August 18th, 2023. All in all, when it comes to Hut 8, yeah, guys, I mean, yeah, it was a hype company. I remember this thing being talked about by the big people back in like 2021. So we're talking about like the Meet Kevins, we're talking about like the Jeremys and from Financial Education. So not surprising that this thing fell hard because, well, there was nothing behind there was nothing behind the rise, right? There was literally nothing behind the rise. And yeah, even though it's gone up massively this year, guess what? It's still massively down. So if you bought at that point and you're still holding it, man, I really do empathize with you. I really, really do. But anyways, that pretty much does it for this video, everybody. Y'all can follow us on the YouTube sites. Link is in the description below. So that said, peace out, and we will see you all next time.